Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are talking about joining in the squeeze, what's going to trigger it, over $40 minimum, and many more in this video. Now, first we take a look at this. One of the things we've always seen is the noise about AMC, which is telling people that smart money is leaving AMC, which is targeting retail investors to stay away from AMC, to sell your AMC shares. But the truth can't be any further from that. Because what we are seeing is the facts is that BlackRock's reported financial beneficial ownership increased from 25.9 million shares to 48.9 million shares. Now, this is just one of the many institutions that have been continuously buying. We are just giving this as an example, especially the fact that it's an institution like BlackRock. Because why would an institution like BlackRock buy a share in a stock if they think that it's going to go to bankruptcy? If they think that it's going to go to zero. Clearly, that is not the case. But it just goes on to talk about how all of these media narratives, all of these noise that you're seeing clearly don't align with what the actual intention behind all of it is. And one interesting thing about this is that not only is BlackRock buying into AMC, it actually shows different indications. Now, firstly, the fact that they're willing to increase their stake in AMC is firstly just a reflection of just how well the fundamentals of AMC is doing. And this is something that we have already seen. This is something we talked about in terms of encouraging investors and giving an incentive and to show how confident people are in AMC. And so that's the first indication that AMC is doing extremely well. More and more people want to buy. The second thing is talking about how it could be a potential collaboration to join Penn and Citadel in squeezing someone overseas. And now this is something that we've seen in the past before. Again, when you take a look at the people that are involved with AMC right now, and you take a look at their history of short squeezing other stocks, we're seeing the same thing. And a lot of different data are also adding up as well, whether you're taking a look at the short interest data, whether you're taking a look at the FTDs. And so with the fact that BlackRock is now joining, it feels like there is a potential collaboration within the companies to obviously bring AMC to that next level. Now, this is still something that's obviously just a random guess, but the fact that is that BlackRock is increasing their stake, and that is an extremely positive sign for AMC, and it also means a lot more potentially. Now, what's also important is the fact that Adam Aron, the main man himself, has of course been dropping so many different hints on AMC. Now, the biggest hint he dropped, and it wasn't even a hint, but more of a showing the investors, was of course announcing he was buying more shares of AMC. And you can see that AMC has been up 98% since this has happened. And so we have to realize is that Adam Aron has dropped to us many clues over the past few years, and what we've seen recently as well with what he's talking about with the box office, with what he's talking about with the earnings and the fundamentals of AMC, we are going to continuously seeing this movement happening, especially at a time like this where you're seeing S&P drop, where you're seeing the Nasdaq drop, you're seeing all of these photonic stocks drop, the storage stocks drop, all of these semiconductors, stocks drop as well. But AMC has been doing extremely strong for the last 3 days. We were up 10%, 6%, and today currently we're up 3%. And so to talk about where it is right now for AMC and how well we're doing, this is what we're looking at. And we have to understand why this is important. And at the end of the day, AMC is not going bankrupt. Short hedge funds are going to have to deal with that info and adjust accordingly. Because what we are seeing, just like with why Adam Aron is buying, with why BlackRocks are buying, with why we talked about debt investors are looking into AMC, it's just that this is presenting one of the biggest opportunities of a lifetime right now. And where AMC is at right now, even not including the potential squeezes, and even not including all of the naked shorts that we have mentioned, just looking at the trajectory of AMC right now and its reflection on its current price, it's already such an undervaluation. It's already presenting one of the greatest opportunities. And so shorts are, of course, afraid of that, and they are trying to continuously short AMC. They're trying to give the narrative that AMC is still going to be bankrupt, when all of that is obviously not happening. And because at the end of the day, it all comes back to the numbers. And we talked about this recently. high IMAX occupancy certainly helps AMC, where we are getting an increase in revenue. But the bigger picture is the overall box office. Now, I want to go into this and talk about why this is important for AMC, because we've already talked about how the recent Odyssey movie has done extremely well for AMC. But more importantly, it's talking about how, firstly, AMC still has the majority market share within the US. And one of the things that they have done throughout the last 2 years, closing into 3 now, is, of course, the AMC Go plan. And this is something that is allowing them to not only become more efficient, meaning that they are able to convert more revenue into profit, but also increasing the revenue along the way, but actually getting more market share within the market. Now, that's extremely important, because even if we are able to keep up the same efficiency, if we are able to see the box office go up, then we're going to be seeing more money coming in. Now, vice versa, if we are seeing the box office keeping its consistency, but the efficiency of AMC goes up, then even with the same box office, we are able to make more profit. You can see how both situation is an extremely good situation for AMC, but we're in a better position where not only is AMC becoming more efficient, but the box office is increasing. And so this is the biggest thing we have to understand with how AMC is only going to get bigger going into the future. So as the operations are continuing to improve, there are no major near-term maturities due. Higher cash position. AMC is in a better position than in prior years. If the box office recovery continues and free cash flow stays positive, the logical next phase is further debt reduction followed by buybacks. And if the 2027 box office is slated to be better than 2026, patience for many will have paid off. And we have to understand what all the potentials for AMC in the future is. People are worried about dilution, and once again, we talk about how dilution is, of course, bad. It's not all merry, but what we have to realize is what it has brought for AMC. And so this isn't me trying to say that dilution is good, but nor is this me trying to say that dilution is a detrimental thing to AMC, because whilst it does bear the negatives, it has allowed AMC to be in a way better position. And one of the important things is that AMC is able to then snowball this, and in the future to obviously repair what they have done. And so whether that's by a buyback, whether that's with dividends, these are all things that will recover the short-term losses that we are seeing now. Not to mention, it has already gained us short-term capital growth on AMC, and I think that's a very important point we need to take away. And along with all of this, you're seeing how analysts are now very bullish on the stock after recent results. Again, none of us are surprised by this, because this is something that we were already expecting for a very long time. This is something that we knew was going to happen for a long time. And so to see all of this happen naturally and flow like it should be doing, this is what we have envisioned for a very, very long while. Now, in terms of where we are right now, again, despite how well the fundamentals was doing, we are going to be faced with the manipulation. And so, like many of us have thought for many weeks or months, they can't let AMC approach $3, which may be a significant breaking point for them. AMC is doing so good, the stock easily should have been running much higher than $3 by now. Now, I completely agree with the statement in the both parts, wherever it's AMC approaching $3 is significant, and or the fact that AMC should be higher than $3, because we've already seen what the overall market is doing. We've seen how our competitors are doing, and so the same should be applied for the AMC. But like we have talked about before, there definitely is a lot of short positions stacked above the $3 areas. So as we are approaching these areas, as we're going to see these short sellers, at least on the books, going from green into the red, not to mention the synthetic positions as well, we're seeing AMC really approaching this kind of a pivotal point where easily we could flip all of these short positions that were once profiting, at least on the books, to now going heavily in the red. And when you compare that with the synthetics that have continuously been in the red because of the billions of shares that they have created, we are going to be looking at a major margin call to be happening. And so what we could be seeing is that they might be preparing to force companies like Citadel to use those shares they just bought to close their naked shorted IOUs. thus triggering the next squeeze over $40 minimum in a 1 to 3 month time span. Now, what we are seeing right now, and whether you're looking at this for Citadel or any others, one of the biggest point we need to look at and remember is the Japanese yen trade. And we talked about unwinding those positions. This is a very important point because essentially that ties up to all the capital that is related to shorting AMC. And a lot of these collaterals, if they have to be unwinded, then we are going to be seeing AMC going up. We are going to be seeing AMC naturally flowing because all of these short positions will be covered. Now, do I think AMC can go to $40? Of course I do. Well, do I think that it's going to be a squeeze that takes us there? No. The reason why I say this is because naturally I believe that AMC should, with the correct market, like a 40+% lit exchange on AMC, whether it's 0 FTDs for AMC or 0 naked shorts, we should be looking at AMC to go way above that anyway. If we are talking about a squeeze, I can definitely see AMC go higher than all of the numbers that I have recently seen because AMC's real value is already so undervalued. Then when you mix that in with the psychologicals, the sentiments, the FOMO of seeing AMC go all the way up, I do believe that it will shoot past $40 and way up higher than that. You can even see here so many different indications are now kind of leading to where AMC is. Firstly, going above $3, then above $5, and we talk about where the margin calls is going to start occurring. Again, these are all pinpointing right now of where we are as a technical factor. And currently 277, again, up 3.75% for the day, doing extremely well because of the consistency. We are seeing nearing $3. Previously, we hit 296. And so we have to understand that there is a block of sell orders. There is a block of short trades waiting to take us down, but we will of course come victorious. And you can see daily resistance, the weekly resistance. Right now the wall is 278 if you want to look at that. So many different price targets, we've already seen so many by now, but I definitely do believe that at the end of the day, breaking above $3 is extremely important for us, not only because is it currently a technical resistance, but also we talked about all of the calls going into money if we're able to see above $3, all of the gamma exposure that is going to happen for AMC, and that's why we're really pinpointing all of this. And so if you want to take a look at what everyone's prediction is, again, it's very, very similar. They're looking at kind of all the same levels, come to a consensus of understanding where AMC is going. Again, everyone's target in terms of the final goal is different, but as of the near short-term target, we're all looking at the same thing and closing an eye on that. So just like we've said, the run up to 40 is very easily doable. But even if AMC doesn't squeeze, but instead goes on a long and projected run of 4 to 8% for the longest time, I'm still good either way. And for this is actually something we're seeing, again, is why I'm happy about the consistency, because, and something that I've mentioned in the past before, is that if we see AMC go up 1,000% in a day, the amount of people that will sell would be big. Now, I definitely do believe that the majority of apes are, of course, diamond hand, but we can't ignore kind of the effects it will have if we suddenly see so many people FOMO in, and then suddenly so many people trying to then take profit. That's going to create, obviously, a whole lot of kind of psychological sentiment. And again, that is something that I can't tell you for sure exactly what's going to happen, but you can definitely understand something along the lines. However, if we're able to see AMC going up 3 to 4% consecutively, and just like what we have seen in the past before, that is still a very good movement, and that is still going to yield great results, and it actually could be the kind of safer way. But again, both things are of course good, and looking at right now for AMC, we are seeing this happening because the real value is actually reflecting all of this. As always, none of this is financial advice, and I'll catch you guys next time.